We're tired of the silence. We're tired of the yakety yak. What we want is action. We want human rights for people with AIDS, human rights for ID users, human rights for sex workers, human rights for women and girls, human rights for transgender population, human rights for men who have sex with men, human rights for Africa, for Asia, for Eastern Europe, human rights for every single body, human rights for homeless people, for migrant workers. Human rights when? Human rights now.
Win the battle against AIDS if we do not improve on human rights. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. When do you think we should bring opioid substitution therapy and needle exchange everywhere where people need it, including in Russia and Eastern Europe? When do we need to decriminalize drug possession, same-sex activity, and sex work? When do we need to fight gender violence and gender inequity? When do we need to hear the voices of youth? When shall we need to close the compulsory detention center for people who use drugs? When do we need access to prevention and treatment for everyone? When do we need a fully funded global fund? Thank you. Enjoy the evening and have a great concert.
It makes me want to sit right down and cry, yeah. I walk along the city streets so dark with rage and fear, and I wish that I could be that bird and fly away from here. I wish I had the wings to fly away from here. Yeah, my feet so low. Mama, where do I go? Mama, what do I know? Mama, we reap what we sow. They always said that you knew best, but this little bird's falling out of that nest now. I got a feeling that it might have been blessed, so I've just got to put this way to taste.
Women like me, women who are HIV positive, still find it hard just to tell to their family, to their loved ones that they're HIV positive. They still experience discrimination when they go to their family doctor or their dentist. So you who are HIV positive like me, I ask, what are you gonna do now? What can we do to stop the stigma that we still face and that still affects our life? It is important that we become visible. It is difficult for me to be here, to be on this stage, but stigma will not go away if we are invisible. It is our birthright to be treated with respect. It is our birthright to be treated with dignity. Human rights here, human rights now. Women and girls, what we want.
long-acting drug users and other drug users are at risk of HIV, and the response so far has really let them down. Only 93 countries around the world support harm reduction in practice or in policies, and the coverage of services is really, really dismally poor at the moment. Governments are always interested in getting the public vote, and drugs is an easy win for somebody wanting to come into power to talk about taking a hard line on drugs. And while politicians might say to you, to your face in conversations, yes, we believe in harm reduction, yes, we believe in giving access to these services, they might not say it in front of the people they want to get votes from. Some people will always want to use drugs. We come from that reality. You know, it's not about abstinence or detox or whatever. It's about looking at the reality of the situation. But having access to these services, you might have people able to go to work, not having to kind of engage in stealing or criminal activity to fund you know, accessing heroin or whichever drug on the streets, and you know, just living a healthier, easier life, and with stability.
Es ist eine zentrale Aufgabe der Politik, dieser Diskriminierung entgegenzutreten. Ich bin stolz darauf, dass diese Konferenz auch in Wien stattfinden kann. Wir nützen die Brückenfunktion auch in ganz Europa. Vielen Dank für Ihre Engagement, für Ihre Verantwortung. Alles Gute!
Troubled soul who's waiting to the ground. Give me the strength to carry on till I can lay my burden down. Ooh, give me the strength to lay this burden down, down, down. Yeah, but Lord, it feels so low. Where do I go? Mama, what do I know? Mama, we reap what we sow. They always said that you knew best, but this little bird's falling out of that nest now. I got a feeling that it might have been blessed, so I've just got to put these ways to taste.
What do we want? Human rights now. And that's what this whole thing is about. It's my right as a woman to decide if I'm going to birth or not birth. It's my right to have access to abortion services. It's my right as a woman to be protected from violence. It's my right as an African if I choose to have sex with a man or a woman. It's my right as an African what I choose to do with my body. We cannot say and allow religion and culture and the human beings who are leading us to decide what we do with our lives. And that's why we're saying human rights now. Everybody on the planet deserves rights. We cannot have this if we do not fund the fight. For us, we say 20 billion is the minimum we want from the global fund. The global fund must be funded a minimum of $20 billion. Nothing less will do.